Well, hello there, YouTube. Mr. Gibson Guy here. Thanks for dropping by the channel today. Um, Today I have a new video for you, and it's gonna, just from the title, it's gonna sound kind of like science fiction. But let's stick with me to the end and we'll see, is it science fiction or is it really science fact? This title is Becoming a Time Traveler. Now, I got my time traveler suit on, I got my time traveler hat on. It's time to become a time traveler. What is that? What does that mean? Well, as you go on through the decades of your life, and 20 years and 30 years and 40 years and 50 years and 60 years and 70 years and a month from now I'm going to be turning 72, and that means that I go back to another century, to another millennium even, and so my life has been spread out over quite a time, and I'm traveling through that time. Let me go ahead with the video here. In earlier videos I have pointed out that opening my curio cabinet, full, where was it? Full of cameras was analogous to a time machine, taking us back in time 40 to 50 years. If you look at all these photographic equipment, it's from 40 years ago, 50 years ago, even now some 70 years ago, from a long time ago, and not what people are looking at currently. So it's kind of a trip to just, when you're in that cabinet, to another time. But there's a lot more to it than that. That's just kind of like cracking the ice just a little bit, just to take a little glimpse in at what's really going on here for people. That same mindset has brought about the realization that those of us who have exceeded our normal expected life expectancies are indeed time travelers from the past, entering a brave and unusual world in the future. Earlier this week, I played a fill-in gig with a local community orchestra, playing French horn on their holiday concert. I joined the two regular French horns, a housewife and a college student home for winter break. Both of them arrived about 15 minutes before the concert started, went up on stage and sat down in their chairs and instantly pulled out their cell phones. I had specifically left my phone in the car. I didn't want to risk it going off in the middle of the concert. But social norms have changed. In my last job teaching in public schools, I used to do my morning duty manning the metal detectors at the school main entrance. Any student caught with their cell phone had to turn it in and pick it up in the office after school. No student was allowed to have a cell phone at school. But nowadays, every kid is expected to have a cell phone on them to aid with their schoolwork. That was 2006. This is 2000 now. The times have changed. When I turned 65, I treated myself to a boombox to play music in my workout room. It was a little 2-speaker unit with AM/FM radio, a CD player, and a single cassette deck with record functions. It took me the better part of the day going from Walmart to Walmart to Walmart before I finally found a store that still had one in stock. But back then, you could still buy cassette tapes and 35mm film at Walmart. That was then. This is 7 years later. Our new Target recently opened a mile from my house. I was looking for some cassette tapes and film usual search there. There was a quartet of young employees gathered at the technology desk, ignoring any customers, as they usually do in Target. Then my time traveler fears manifested themselves. I interrupted their vital conversation, asking where they stocked their cassette tapes and film. It was not the shaking of young heads that bothered me. It was the look of, "What is this old man babbling about?" Like I had just asked them for a new bellows for my forge. I felt distinctly like a time traveler transported to another century, the 20th century. I really did find myself in a strange and unfamiliar place. I did eventually find another young woman who was the department manager. She proudly brought me to their display of 2 boxes of 200 Fujifilm at $10 a box. 2 of these. That was Target's display of 35mm film these days. A month later, I marshaled my nerve to re-enter Tomorrowland one more time to replace a patch cord I had used for my boombox that ran from a single 1/8" stereo to 2 RCA plugs, a couple of feet. I displayed the cable I was searching for to the disinterested workers, still continuing their previous vital discussion from the previous month. None of them had the slightest idea what I was talking about. Time travelers are ignored and left to fend for themselves in this brave new world. I went across the street to unfashionable behind the times Walmart, but not before I browsed the aisle after aisle of completely foreign cables and cords and plugs and connectors that apparently connect cell phones to computers, or who knows what any of this stuff does. In Walmart, I did find my connectors. They kind of look different, but it does the same thing. So Walmart came through on that, believe it or not. The local CVS had a sale a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago. I don't think it was 3. Selling out their Fuji 400 3-packs, which would no longer be stocked. I bought all 5 boxes, and so I had myself a supply of film, although I don't really love 400 speed film. I'd rather have 100 or 200 or slower, or slide film. I've tried finding that. Walgreens and CVS and Walmart used to have a 1-hour photo lab right there in the store. Apparently the cell phone camera has rendered these facilities obsolete. Well, I discovered the full story. Photo printers are still functional at CVS. When you bring your film in for processing, you fill in your info on the film envelope, just like Photomat in the 1977. Any employee at the store drops the film envelopes at the local post office, where mail takes them to the lab, wherever in the world that may be. It could be anywhere. There, the film is C41 processed, and the negatives are scanned. The scanner connects by internet to the photo printer that we see at our local CVS, which in turn prints those pictures and makes a digital CD of those prints. Any clerk at the drugstore puts the prints and the disc into another envelope, takes a copy of the image of your original customer information that you put on your original envelope and attaches it on there. You don't get your images back because your negatives are trashed, but you get the pictures, even though they have to send the film to some other part of the country to print it up right there on their photo machine, on their scanner, on their printer. So after all my efforts to use real film in a real camera, my images are reduced to more sad digital scans anyway. I need a machine that takes me back in time, far away from this cold and impersonal digital world. But if I did succeed in finding a way to go back, I really wonder, would I return? Or would I stay there? Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're getting up there to being a time traveler, just look for a time traveler hat, go wandering into your local Target and get looked at by all these people from another age wondering, what's this guy doing here? Where did he come from? A relic. All right, until next time, Mr. Gibson Guy, I'm out of here.